Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be doing a Thanksgiving plan with me with this kit from VanillaPaperCo, formerly known as Sticker Bloom. I think this kit is called Hello Fall, but it felt very Thanksgiving-y in the colors to me, and I especially love a lot of the fall details like this pumpkin box. So yeah, excited to get into it. So this plan with me will be a little bit different today, and before we get into anything, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed on my channel, who's liked a video, who's left a comment, who's watched. I really appreciate it. Seriously, every comment you guys leave, I always read, and I will text, my siblings and be like, someone left me a comment, so thank you so much for watching. I thought I'd do a little bit of a sort of get to know me today again, just because, it's Thanksgiving, there's some Thanksgiving related questions in there, so yeah, let's get going. So the first one I found on this list says, how did you first meet your significant other? And so, yeah, we met online on this website called Bumble, which you all probably know, but in case you don't, Bumble is a site where the women have to message first. And so I, was online dating and had been messaging, a few guys here and there, and saw my partner's profile, and on his profile it said that he was an empathetic listener, and I thought that was really interesting because on most dating sites you see people writing that they're like here for a good time, not for a long time, which is definitely not my speed. But yeah, he had some great photos on there, and he said that he was training for a triathlon, and at the time I was taking a break from running due to an injury, so that's sort of what we struck up a conversation on, and we talked, and I was away on a work trip then, but when I came back we went for coffee, and pretty much the rest is history. I think, in the beginning I was a little bit embarrassed to tell people that we had met on online dating. I don't know why, it's so common these days that everyone, it feels like everyone is doing it. I don't know, it just felt a little bit weird to me, but my sister met her husband on Tinder, so it's not, it's becoming a regular thing. So I definitely wouldn't say that I'm embarrassed about it now. I know I felt a little bit weird when we first started dating, but yeah, we met online. So the second question is, what did you do for Thanksgiving when you were a kid? And so Thanksgiving in my house usually took maybe one of two forms. So either we would go and visit my relatives who lived in New Jersey, and I have a ton of aunts and uncles that live in New Jersey, and we sort of all gather at one person's house for a big Thanksgiving. Or we would sort of do that after we had our own thing in the morning. So we might have our own dinner at home, kind of around lunchtime. Thanksgiving dinner is hardly ever at dinner time, but we would do that and then maybe go over to, my family in the afternoon. So it was sort of a choice whether we spent the time at home, just the five of us, my three sisters, my grandmother, and my mom, or we went and saw family. And I mean, it was pretty much a normal Thanksgiving. We, ate turkey. We're a cake family, not a pie family, so definitely had cake instead of pie, but all the usuals, macaroni and cheese and all that good stuff. And that was definitely the case when we went to my relatives. So yeah, Thanksgivings were pretty normal, nothing special. The third one is, what's your favorite place you visited? And that is so interesting because I think there are places where I've been that I'm I really like the food there. And other places where it's I really enjoyed, just being there. So I guess I'll answer on both fronts. Some place that I went that I really enjoyed the food, definitely Japan. I mean, hands down, best food. I mean, I am super into all Asian food, dumplings, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, all Asian food is the best to me. And so, yeah, everything in Japan, I ate. Could eat my entire way through Japan, specifically Tokyo, but also, Osaka was fantastic, Kyoto, of course. Same for South Korea. I just like being there because it actually felt really clean and calm. You know, I say this, you know, as someone being from New York who's used to, you know, American cities being very bustling and such, but I did not get that feel, you know, from like Seoul, for example. It was very just like a very relaxed feeling city, even though it's definitely a huge city and very popular. Someplace that I enjoyed a lot of the scenery, I would say, was Iceland. I don't know if I really liked the food there because it was kind of very like meat and potatoes. I didn't feel like I got a ton of vegetables when I visited Iceland, but of course, you know, the Northern Lights, all of the waterfalls, all of the natural beauty, the black beaches, like so beautiful. So yeah, so I would say anywhere in Asia, pretty much. South Korea, Japan. I've been to Thailand. I loved. Like I really never, you know, went to one of those countries and didn't enjoy the food. And you know, the place where I really enjoyed the scenery but not the food so much, Iceland. The fifth question is, what's your favorite way to give back and help others? And I guess I would say really mentoring and coaching is my favorite way to give back and help others. So when I say mentoring and coaching, I work in research, in UX research specifically, and there are a lot of people who are looking to kind of break into the field and really having a hard time, you know, getting started. And what I do is I volunteer with this sort of collective called UX Coffee Hours. Basically, you offer a few hours of your time every week to coach and mentor new UX researchers, people who are new to the field or just getting started, or even if they just have, you know, specific questions about you and your career path. So I've started doing that recently. I think in the last 2 months I've done it. And it has been really, really a rewarding experience. When I first started in UX research, I really struggled to find mentors, to find people who would really help me or coach me. And not for any real reason except that I just didn't really know people. I mean, I would message people on LinkedIn. You know, I didn't really know sort of where to look to find mentors or how to go about, you know, finding one. So yeah, I definitely put myself out there to junior researchers and say, hey, if you're struggling with your portfolio, if you don't know, you know, how to get your first job, if you're having trouble like practicing for interviews, like let me know. I'm happy to hop on a call, because I feel like it's really important to make things easier for folks than like, you know, the way that you know, kind of had to go, or at least the way I had to go. You know, I felt like I was in the dark about a lot of stuff. I went to my first couple job interviews, you know, wholly unprepared and, you know, didn't get those jobs. And I think having a coach or a mentor or just someone I could ask questions to would have been really helpful. The sixth one is, what did you want to be when you were growing up? And the funny thing is, I think I end up kind of doing some of that right now. But what I really wanted to be when I was growing up is a writer. I really wanted to be like a poet, or even just like a fiction writer. That was my dream as a kid. And I actually went to college initially as an English major. But you know, my parents said like college is there to get a career that you can end up, you know, with a job with after. And so if you don't, you know, get some like relevant job skills, you're going to struggle after college. And I mean, my ultimate dream was to be like an English professor. I think it's because I had so many English professors that I really looked up to in high school and middle school, and I, you know, really enjoyed spending time with them and learning from them. And I think I was kind of like, yeah, I really want to do this as a career, in addition to writing and stuff. But yeah, once I got into college, I ended up switching English to my second major and picked up information science. And it was at that point that I started thinking about pursuing research as a career. I did my honors thesis project, which was sort of my own first independent research project. And I was like, hey, you know, I think I could do this as a thing. And then I went to grad school and got my PhD, and sort of that became my career choice. But yeah, when I was a kid, I figured that I would, you know, grow up, become a writer. You know, I was obsessed with Gwendolyn Brooks as a kid. She's a black female, or was a black female poet. She passed away. And I loved her poetry. And so, yeah, I don't really write like that anymore, you know, other than work stuff. I mean, in my job, I end up writing a lot. I write a lot of reports, I write a lot of, you know, memos and things, but it's not the same kind of writing that I think I maybe imagined. The next question is, what would you do if you won the lottery? If I won the lottery, I feel like I would donate to COVID vaccine research. That is what I would do, because I feel like that is a worthy cause that needs a lot of money. Maybe, you know, other millionaires are taking care of it, but like I would definitely want to chip in there if at all possible. I would also want to start a fund for giving technology to children in underserved communities. I mean, a big thing that has been on my mind while we've all been, you know, sheltering in place is that if you're a kid who doesn't have a good internet connection or access to a laptop or something, how are you even doing school? Is anyone, you know, making this happen? And, you know, if someone knows of how this is working for them or is in this situation, please let me know. But I'm like, are you just going without? You know, are you just borrowing? Like, what is happening? You know, and I think given the current wave that we have not seen the last of COVID yet, and that there will be more remote schooling and remote work in the future, we need to ensure that everyone has equal access to technology. So that's something that I would definitely invest in. I think investing in, or rather, you know, offering money to like food banks, Feeding America, I regularly donate to because people are struggling right now. I mean, I think in any other sort of situation, I would have thought like, hey, you know, I'm gonna pay off my mom's house, etc. But it feels to me right now that, you know, the first thing on my mind is just like people who are struggling because of COVID, because they can't work, you know, because they, you know, their businesses are not thriving the way that they were even pre-COVID if they can work. So yeah, I feel like I would, you know, give most of it away. I would take care, you know, if my family has things that they need taken care of, you know, pay the rest of my mom's house off, my dad's house off, that kind of stuff. But the lotteries, you know, we're talking about millions. And yeah, I definitely would want to give some of that money back, most of that money back to the community and help ensure equal access, you know, for technology and for research. I would love to start a research fund too for women and people of color who are looking to get into research. Again, I think that the numbers that we have and our representation is really low, and you know, having just like scholarships to help people study this or, you know, get started in the field would be great. Another big thing for me, and I'm sorry if I'm going on like a, you know, charity rant here, but I work in accessibility research, and so much of our society is like not accessible to people who have varying levels of a particular disability or are differently disabled. And so like, we need to really fix a lot of that, especially as so much of the world is going online now and like remote, and we're not doing as much stuff in person. So that's something I would love to like, you know, put some money towards as well. And yeah, a lot of people ask, you know, if you won the lottery, would you still work? And, you know, I think I would. I do like my chosen career field, and I would still do it. You know, I would love to take a few more days off, but I absolutely would still do it. So this is the end of the spread. Hope you all enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about me, and feel free to ask me any questions if you have questions about the stickers, and hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I will see you next time. Bye.